tonight. So I've had to take some Docu-Sate, and if you don't know what Docu-Sate are, they're a bit like a laxative, but they're not like a laxative because that makes you go to the toilet within an hour or so, and you need a shit. This is like a slow releasing laxative, so any trapped wind, that kind of thing. They give it old people, Docu-Sate, who can't go to the toilet, and I don't always use it, so it's not something that I depend on daily. Just seem to get clogged up sometimes, so I have to go back to the medication. I've tried everything tonight. I've tried peppermint, peppermint tea. Obviously, it's helped a little bit, but when I know something's not right and I'm not going to the toilet as frequent as I should, I just jump on them for a day or two. So I've done that. I had my 13th day today on the antibiotics. I'm got a very, very late visit today because there was a problem at the person's house, so they can't go into great detail what happened. So a problem is normally like an emergency problem, so the patient at home maybe took ill and they have to wait for an ambulance before they can leave the property. So I got a visit about 8:30, finished about 9:15. So yeah, tomorrow is the final day. The final day. I hope they don't come early. But in a way I do, because normally if they come early in the morning, they come late in the early in the evening. So it didn't work out that way today, but on the whole it normally does. And then what'll happen is we'll get this needle taken out tomorrow, and then I can itch around here. It's been a nightmare. It's not straight away. About a week later, started getting irritation. Started taking my what they called allergy tablets as well. Started taking them, and that helped a lot for my. I stopped itching around the beard and the side of the hair. But yeah, it does dry you out. I've got a line in my hair here, and I noticed the other day because of the medication, it dried it all out. So I put some moisturising cream right in there, and it stopped that problem. I've tried to keep hydrated on water as well. But that's all really. I've started to get a bit of colour back to my face. I noticed that today. Maybe yesterday I started seeing my colour in my face picking up, and I started looking generally well, or generally okay compared to how I started. I took a picture probably about day 2, and I had my hoodie on, and I was pale. I was really, really pale. And looking back now from that picture to how I look now, you wouldn't even think it's the same person. So, and I thought I was generally well back then. I thought maybe I'm brewing an infection, chest infection, but I didn't. Well, I obviously did, but I didn't think I was, because what happens with a bronchitis is we're very rarely infection free. So because we're not infection free, sometimes we don't know if we actually got one, or it's just our normal response, our body's normal response of maybe something's happening, but it's not a full-blown infection. That's why it takes a lot to wipe us out. Whereas if an average Joe got a chest infection, by day 1, day 2, they'd be on the floor. I think the body's response knows there's an infection there, knows how to try and deal with it until it gets antibiotics. So, and this is why we do get put on cycles, because within a year period, some people only get one infection every couple of months. At one point, I was getting, I can't remember, I think I was having about 12 to 14 infections, which was like one a month. Some people get one every 3 months. So yeah, on this medication, it's sort of slowed them down, but it's not slowed them down a great deal. I mean, maybe 4 less a year, but that's when I was taking tobramycin, and I've been switched over to gentamicin, so hopefully that does the same job and reduces the infections down to 4. And people might scratch their head and say 4 infections less, but to someone like me, that's a great deal. If they can suppress 4 infections a year, it gives me that little bit more of a sort of quality of life, that when I am well, I can enjoy something at the time. So yeah, it's a great deal. Just reducing it by 4 a year, you couldn't imagine what it does to someone's mental health when they're under these chest infections. And it's just a repetitive thing, so it's like you're just getting over one, and then you get another, because people don't know there's like an incubation period before a full-blown chest infection. So that incubation in the body, it's already starting the process off, so your body knows something's not right, and then boom. So I was I was at that point 3 years ago, where it just kept happening no matter what tablets they were throwing at me. I couldn't get over these infections. I was getting hospitalised a lot, and that's when I got the home IV care. And since then, it's been a blessing. It really has been a blessing. And make long continue. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination, as you're aware of, or would be aware of, that it takes a huge impact in your life because things won't be the same, because you're gonna have to deal with nurses twice a day for 2 weeks. You're gonna have to deal with the infection, but alongside strong medications, and then it takes a long time to get any process going back to how you were before the cycle. So it's like rebuilding again. So there's always that going on in the background that people don't see. you know, you sort of go into a bit of a shadow for yourself, obviously, because you spent a lot of time indoors as well. Like I say, you can't get out the house much at all. You're sort of housebound for 2 weeks. There's slight periods of times where you might be able to nip to the chip shop, go to an appointment, but other than that, you're virtually in the house from 8 till 11, or even 8 till half 11 in the morning, and then you're back in the house from half 4 to 10 o'clock at night potentially. So that has a whack. Now, you can do your own medication. I've seen a person do it, and I personally wouldn't do it. It's not for me. It's like, this is my time to be treated. I'm not well. And by me doing it, I reckon I would do what I do with the nebulized antibiotic. I would slack on it, where I would have less medication, less doses, not cycles, less doses, and then I'll build up a resistance because of that. So I'm just straight to the point. Is categorically no. I'm treating myself with something that the NHS should be doing anyway. It's not like it's a basic thing. It's not like, oh, um, I'll just whack the IV up, and then we'll just let the IV drip. When it's empty, I'll put it away. No, you have to take your blood pressure, your temperature, you have to write batch numbers down, you have to log all this down, and then I think you have to make the medicine up. I don't think the medicine is made. So, them bags you get in hospital, them like hydration bags, the drip, you have to draw medicine, put it in. And, when someone's poorly, why should they be doing that? They could make a huge mistake. They could miss doses. And no, our family members, our friends, everyone in the past has paid massive contributions to the NHS. Massive contributions, where this is what they paid for, this is what they fought for, to look after our vulnerable people, our disabled people, you know. And yeah, it would take a strain off the NHS massively if people self-medicated, but we're not talking about we're not talking about a paracetamol tablet. Yeah, we're not talking about a little shot of insulin. We're talking about making antibiotic medication twice a day when you're not well. Um, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that they're pushing that on people. Now, if you had an active lifestyle and you was going to work and you were able to go to work, and you wanted to do it and you volunteered and said, listen, it suits me better because I don't mind doing it, then yeah, I get that. But no one should be forced to do their own medication, especially a high potent medication. Right, guys, I've rambled enough. I'm gonna go, feeling a bit tired, so I'll leave yous for now. Alright, take care, guys, and look after each other.